Do it, Troy. Do the thing. Do the thing,
Welcome
Troy.
to Bald Guys and Bad Movies, episode 74. I am Troy, here with my buddy
Mike Stella.
and the interruptress,
Autumn.
Autumn.
I didn't interrupt. I waited.
Wait, I got it wrong. It was interruptress. What was it? Unleashed.
Yes.
Because you were
Because
telling
they
us,
said,
Autumn, look, this is going to be a liberating episode for you, Autumn.
You can interrupt whenever you want.
Hold back. Feel free to be rude and interrupt, because likely whatever you have to say is way more intelligent, profound than what me and Mike will have to say. Okay.
I feel like there's people in the audience
Speak
right
for
now that are
yourself.
saying, guys, no, do not do this. Do not unleash. You don't know what you're asking.
I'm just
we
curious
know.
to see it happen now.
We
You
know.
It's like,
I'll make
yeah.
strategic choices about interrupting. How about that?
Okay, be strategic
Okay.
or just be blunt. Either way.
Either way.
Well, welcome, Autumn and Autumn's audience, to this episode of Bald Guys and Bad Movies /Fandom Social. We're gonna run this like we would our normal podcast,
Except we have a guest.
except we have a guest.
And a live audience.
And a
And a
live
live
audience.
audience.
That's so awesome. This is kind
But
of
you
fun.
know, except for that, just like our
It's the
normal,
same.
Just like our,
podcast
just the
recording.
same. It's the
Yeah,
same.
there you
There's
go.
no difference.
So guys, what are we reviewing this week?
This week, we are reviewing the 2012 hit superhero film, The Green Lantern.
2011.
We are reviewing the aggressively mediocre 2011 film Green Lantern.
Wait, don't give it away. Don't give it away. Hold.
Come
on.
on.
You can cut
jeez.
that part out.
No. Cut anything out.
Not from the live stream, we can't.
So Green Lantern. Before I guess I should describe this. This is what normally we would do.
Yeah, why
Mike.
don't you give it a why don't you give it a nut? How about let's have Autumn do a nutshell? Give us
yes.
Green Lantern in a nutshell, Autumn.
Now, Mike gives the best nuts of all. His nuts are short and spicy.
I will
and not
definitely be with
always to
Mike's
the
nuts.
point.
Sometimes they dribble out. There's a little dribble, but he gets there in the end. So no pressure.
Sometimes.
But can you summarize Green Lantern?
I really can't. It was so forgettable. I had to keep going back and watching parts of it going, wait, what happens here? Green Lantern, okay, the guy, I have things to say about it. How can I summarize it?
That's
Green
that.
Lantern.
She does a better nutshell than me. I will say that.
I know, it's a superhero movie. You know, it's like, let's put all the tropes together, put it in a blender, mix it up, spit out a superhero movie that's trying to compete with who? Iron Man did really well. People love superhero movies. Let's do the same thing. I mean, come on.
Perfect.
Okay,
I know
there
exactly
we go.
what that film's about. If I just landed on planet Earth, I would know exactly what Green Lantern.
Exactly.
We're gonna roll with that.
Okay.
So what did you guys think of Green Lantern?
Well,
Before we get into spoilers, for
let's
those
do
out
our.
there who have not seen it.
Mine is a not a recommend. Definitely not a recommend. It's there's so much other stuff to waste your time watching that is also a waste of time, but even better to do it with. So
Now, before you go further, now we all saw it when it was first released in 2011.
yes,
And now we're seeing
Somewhere.
it years later. I probably have not watched this film
Yeah.
since 2011.
yeah, probably
Has it-
not.
Has it improved, changed? Has your perspective changed at all in this
I
film?
forgot all about it, so it was like watching it again for the first time. There's only
I-
one scene that was memorable because it was funny because Ryan Reynolds, and after that I forgot.
Mhm.
I also want to give Laura
What scene was
Quiles
that?
over.
I want
in
to know.
the
Hey,
I'll come back to it.
okay,
but
I don't want to
give
forget
Laura's-
that. Okay,
We have Laura in the live audience. She gave her summary, which I think is perfect. Green Lantern is a movie. Stuff happened. There's a Green Lantern.
Wow.
Perfect.
All three acts are represented there. Act
I
one,
love
two,
it.
three.
Yeah. The only part to me that was memorable was when he's there with his friend showing off his lantern and his ring, trying to show off his powers, and nothing happens.
Taika
And it's like
Waititi. Taika Waititi.
yes.
was his friend.
Did you?
Which I forgot.
I had no idea. I was like, "Holy shit, that's Taika Waititi!"
Yeah, because he wasn't Taika
He wasn't
Waititi
Taika
back then.
Waititi.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was so young and not Taika
Yeah.
in my mind. Like, oh
Right.
my god.
So that
my
was
God.
a fun scene that I did remember that it happened because I remember that being like kind of funny. You know, he's trying to show off his powers and nothing happens. And I remembered that. Literally nothing else.
Well, I will say, and when I first saw it, first of all, Mark Strong's the hero. Like he is so
Yeah.
great as Sinestro. I wanted more
Yeah.
of him.
Steve Nara in the chat said, in all honesty, the best thing about this movie
Oh.
is Mark Strong's performance as Sinestro. Yeah.
That's yep,
Yeah.
dead on.
Richards says, I'll watch it just for Sinestro and his scenes. So absolutely.
So what
Yeah,
what did you
totally.
think about Ryan Reynolds though?
He's
I
good in
mean,
everything, though. I mean, Mark
he
Strong.
was
I mean,
fine.
He's
Hal
Ryan
Jordan.
Reynolds.
Yeah.
yeah.
He is Ryan Reynolds in everything he does, basically, which is delightful, and I love it. And he was Ryan Reynolds in this. He was great. No notes. He was fine.
So is this a hard no to anyone who's never seen Green Lantern? To don't bother, forget about it. There's no
Well,
redeeming qualities.
I wouldn't say a
Do you
hard
recommend?
no.
Yeah.
I would say if you got your iPad out and you want to play a little, match game while you have something on in the background, this is a perfectly good thing to have on in the background.
Yeah. Okay. Does it demand your? I think Mike and we had an analogy. If you had it on at a party, it's
Right.
good.
Okay.
A good background movie to have on. We have a social gathering.
Steve Nara in the chat says 2 guys, a girl, and a Green Lantern.
Oh
Because
yeah.
Ryan Reynolds was in 2 guys, a girl, and a pizza place. So
Oh right. There you go.
yeah, absolutely.
I
love it.
So, and Mike, not recommend for you?
Mine is not recommend. I mean, it's look if you have a hankering for some Green Lantern, content, sure. I mean, but
A+
I
for
don't
using the
know.
word hankering, by the way.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
it when
It's aggressively
job.
mediocre. It's fine. It's absolutely perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say that it's fine. Like it is boring. Like it is a boring movie.
Well, okay, let's just get into it.
Well, what are you about you, Troy? Are you a hard no or a?
It's not irredeemable. They're Peter Sarsgaard, I think, gave a good performance, or over the top cheesy performance as the Hector
With what he had to work with, yeah.
with what he had to
Right.
work with, even though he looked like a giant testicle. That's
Even
fine.
though that character was totally unnecessary in
Elephantitis,
any
man.
possible way. Like,
But
Yeah.
for me, the middle part, and look, the structure of this movie, and I think we could all agree, the movie needs a lot of work. The middle part, second act, that's where the boredom set in.
Yeah.
I felt like this movie should have been a buddy cop movie. Should have been Green Lantern paired with Sinestro, learning the ropes. I mean, there was no training.
yeah.
Like he had one little fight with the big guy. I forget the big guy's name, and then Sinestro hurt his feelings and he flew back to Earth.
Yeah.
And there was a whole chunk of him in Earth. I almost wonder if Guardians of the Galaxy had come out first before this, like this version.
And they had that as like
Yeah.
would they have been
rubric.
more
A template.
confident
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
have him just be in space for most of this movie?
Yeah.
And be a space cop.
Well, I have a whole theory after watching it that when I was watching it about halfway through, I went,
Wait, a
"This is
theory
Top
of
Gun."
holes or
No, that this is
complete
Top
theory,
Gun.
okay.
This movie is just Top Gun. Like they borrowed heavily from elements of Top Gun, and there were so many scenes that paralleled Top Gun scenes. And I feel like toward the beginning of the movie, you've got in Top Gun, he's on his motorcycle driving recklessly all over the place
Wait,
to
now,
arrive,
now
and he's
I
late.
want a Sinestro volleyball scene. Shirtless.
Absolutely.
I think
Absolutely.
everyone is
Oil
out
them
here
all
for
up.
that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
Sorry,
like
go ahead.
there's that scene and the same both of them have this scene where they're careening around irresponsibly through the streets to get there, and they show up and they're kind of devil may care, too cool to care about it. Same thing, same character. And then they're doing some kind of test where they go beyond the boundaries of what's safe just to prove that whatever it is wasn't working. And then they have this love interest who is like, it's blurring the lines of what's professional and what's not. And like,
Right.
and that love interest only exists to be a love interest. They have no actual character of their own. Like there's so many things that happen, and they've got this memory of this dead person who, like their father, and they're trying to live in the shadow of them. Like it's the same story. And I feel like my complete opinion, I am not basing this on anything, but my instinct is they didn't have faith in that time that a superhero film could draw a big enough audience, or that people would like the film, because that MCU wasn't this monster juggernaut that it is now. Like Iron Man came out, huge hit. But like our audience is really going to invest and like this. I don't think they had faith in it, and so I think they borrowed from a highly successful story and tried to make it that, so that people who necessarily weren't into it would still think it's cool, but it was a watered down version of it.
And that's kind of what I mean. I think you hit it, because if Guardians had come out, if they just waited and that was a massive hit, then they would have confidence in embracing the sci-fi element of this and the weirdness of it.
Yeah.
But it felt like we don't want to be too weird for too long, so let's put it back on planet Earth.
So let's make it a cool fighter pilot show movie instead.
Hal's got it. We got to get back to Earth because people can connect to the Earth stuff, and out
We've
there
got
it's just too weird.
Steve Nara says, "I feel the need for green," and Laura says, "Sinestro flexing to look at his watch."
See, no one can unsee it now. Well,
I mean, that's a pretty good point. I would say, like the whole Top Gun, facsimile, because now that you mention it, it really does kind of feel like that. And there was so much in it that just like it seemed really odd that this guy is a professional test pilot, and all of a sudden in this one particular flight, that's when the memory of his father like really messes him up. Like, it just seemed really. It
seems like he would have conquered that demon by the time he got to that point in his career.
You think so? Yeah, maybe, maybe.
And you know what occurred to me, because the opening is like exposition, right? The ominous voice. And I love how Guardians open up the first one. It started with the human part, which is Peter Quill,
right?
And the night he lost his mother.
Yeah.
But that's super confidence, right? Like at that point, these movies, there's an audience for it, so you don't have to start with like a bang, or you could start with an emotional bang, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So it's almost like if they had started with him as a kid and really showed that impact that it had, then it may have made more sense for that. It's a reoccurring thing. It is a traumatic thing, but like you said, it was a weird placement for it, Mike. Like, a flashback right in the middle. I mean, does this always happen? Did they ever say that in the film? He's always like zoning out. I don't know. I can't remember, but
it was definitely odd to me. Like, I was watching it thinking, this is completely out of the norm for a super hotshot pilot.
Yeah. We've got Steve Nar in the chat says, it's also very odd that this is from the same director of Mask of Zorro. The vibes are so different, yet should be the same pulpy goodness. But I think it missed the mark.
Martin Campbell is the director, and he directed Casino Royale, which I friggin' love. So
those are like juicy, great stories. It campy and great and delivers. And this one, I don't mean campy, but I mean it delivers on its genre. You know what I mean?
How do you guys feel about the Arrowverse? Because the guy behind that wrote this, Greg Berlanti.
I never got into it.
Okay.
The CW stuff?
The CW stuff.
I mean, I watched Smallville, like, sadly.
I watched Dawson's Creek. Does that count?
It kind of does.
Because I think a lot of what we're saying is in the writing. And this had, this had a ton of rewrites, so I'm not just going to blame him. It probably had a ton of studio meddling.
I blame him.
Okay, fine. Screw that guy. I hate him.
Yeah. He can take it.
So did you guys have a favorite part? Well, what's a redeeming quality? What does this film get right, if anything?
What does it get right? That's a good. I can't think of. I really cannot. I mean, it was pretty damn bad.
Which characters were compelling? How about that? Do you felt like Sinestro? I mentioned Mark Strong.
Yeah, well, Sinestro was good.
But I think, to be fair, if somebody walked into that movie and just watched that, not having known about the comics, nobody would have cared about Sinestro. We like Sinestro because we like the comic book character, but that particular version of Sinestro, I don't agree with that. I think it's kind of the opposite. I feel like if you walk into this movie and you know nothing about it, you're gonna like Sinestro because Mark Strong is so like, I like him in everything I see him in. Like, I can't think of a single, like, even if the movie is forgettable, I will remember him most of the time.
Because because you're right, Mark Strong gets such a strong performance that him paired with Ryan Reynolds for most of this movie Like it's
Would
like
have
Lethal
been.
Weapon, or it's again
Yeah.
a buddy cop movie, right?
It was a missed
Where
opportunity for sure.
yeah, like oh, I got to
Yeah.
take this rookie, and my partner died, and that may fly in the
Right.
face of comic
They set him
lore.
up
So
as
sure.
like an antagonist, sort of like, I don't like you because how dare you fill the shoes of the guy you're
Right.
not worthy. But like he would have felt that way about anyone.
Exactly.
You know, so like they set up this kind of very weak premise of they don't like each other, now they do. And it's like, okay, cool. Like it was such a
No one
it was
cares.
so limp.
Nobody cares.
Their relationship line was so limp.
Yeah.
And it could have
Yeah.
been, like you're saying, it could have been really great
Yeah.
if they had paired them more.
And they didn't earn his turncoat to yellow at the end, like the end credit stinger when he embraces fear. Sinestro, there was nothing
Yeah.
leading up to that.
Yeah,
in
like
my
how
opinion.
did he
Yeah.
break
Like,
his
why
fear? When did that
At
happen?
the end, he was like, "Yay, Hal Jordan's has proven that we're great."
Yeah, that was absolutely odd to me. Like,
Yeah.
all of a sudden, we need to harness the power of fear. Like, he
That's
literally
like-
just got done telling you about what happens when you do that.
Right.
I feel like that'd be like if Thanos just like got one of the rings because he found it on the ground. I mean, one of the stones.
Right,
You're
right.
like,
Oh my
here's a
God.
stone. Okay. Oh, we
Wait
got a
second, I got a kooky idea.
Oh
we
my
got
God.
Jen Edwards in the chat that said the best thing to come out of this movie is the availability of plastic lantern rings. Yes.
Nice.
We can ask Paul. He's got a set of all of them and enjoys wearing them all at the same time. So
Oh my God.
yeah, because we got them when we worked at the comic book shop together.
Oh,
and
no.
when they were making these promotional rings.
That's
So it was
Wait,
pretty great.
Autumn, is so in that closet back there is a closet full of like lantern gear. You
If I
it,
open
just,
that up,
tumbles
it's just
out.
lantern rings that are gonna pour out. Yeah.
That's
Just
fine.
Ryan Reynolds
thousands
cut
of
out with
them.
him and his tidy whities.
Yeah.
All right, I don't
There was-
Absolutely.
I'm
You
gonna
know,
spill your
one
secret.
thing that was really weird in this movie, aside from the story, the writing, just the colors and the way it looked was just so odd. Like it just dropped into black so fast. Like it was so high contrast that it almost like was in like undefined. Like it was really weird.
It wasn't weighted in. It
Yeah.
didn't feel weighted in reality, even though
Yeah.
obviously it's not
I
reality,
wonder-
but it
I
didn't
wonder if
feel
they
like
did
it
that
existed.
to like because all their costumes were CGI, right? Like, I
Oh,
believe.
you think? I mean,
Yeah. So I wondered,
Mhm.
hey, look at that.
Exactly.
yeah.
Got on
You
screen.
think
Look
so?
at that.
Wait, that's how Mark Strong actually looks?
Yes, that's why they cast him.
He needs a blend in that fade, though. I got a
Oh,
good
man.
barber. I used to have a good barber. Anyway.
Absolutely.
Yeah, maybe it was done to disguise that
Yeah.
everything was fake.
and not only that, like, why was Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively so tan? They were so tan. I was like, this is
Because
so
they are the
weird.
beautiful people and it's
Yeah.
their job.
You know what? And that's actually, I'm glad you brought that up because it really emphasized the point that these.
It's stuff you know,
Beautiful.
yeah, okay.
And look, she's gorgeous. He's gorgeous. They're absolutely
Yeah.
gorgeous
And
people.
they fell in love with this film, right? I just assumed.
Yes, they did.
I assume
They did.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's the best thing to come out of this movie.
That is
Their
absolute-
beautiful family.
That is
'Cause
absolutely
I was
the best
watching
thing.
like, I wonder is this the scene where they kind of fell for each other?
Yeah, totally.
Love kiss,
But-
kiss,
but-
kiss.
What I really thought was interesting is it really drives home that beautiful people are the heroes. And Hector,
Yes.
even before he became a bad guy, he was already like hunched over, had a horrible like receding
Yeah.
hairline.
So he
and they were like
deserves to be the villain.
Yeah, exactly. If you're ugly, you're bad. You are inherently
Yeah.
a bad person if you're
Right.
ugly. And if you're gorgeous, you're inherently a good person.
Right.
I was
And
I was like, this is kind of
And they made him
gross.
less attractive than he is in real life.
Exactly.
Like they made him. And also, can we just talk about, tell me if anyone disagrees. They could have taken that character completely out and it wouldn't have changed a single thing about
absolutely.
this movie.
Hector?
The scene where he
Oh.
causes the helicopter, that could have easily been just a random accident that then Green Lantern comes in to save. Like a
Right.
train could have gone off the rails. You know what I mean? It could have been anything. And he could have made his first rescue in public and it didn't have to be Hector. And Hector could have just never existed, and it was fine. And the Tim Robbins character, or whatever,
Well,
his dad, didn't need to exist either. Like,
here's
none of
the
this
reason.
needed to exist.
Well,
Right?
I agree.
I do feel like he needed to exist. Maybe not in this form. Like I agree with you, Mike. Like they were so on the nose that loser,
Yeah, exactly.
loser with powers. You can't get a girlfriend, loser.
I need to jump back 1 second. Dwayne says about our two lead characters, great method acting. They're still in character years later.
Nice.
Got married
Nice.
and had kids.
There you go.
They
They're
are
in it for the long haul.
dedicated to their craft. Yeah.
To the Daniel Day-Lewis school
Yeah.
method.
And Steve Nara says Peter Sarsgaard takes me out of any movie. He's such an odd dude.
Oh,
Interesting.
But my favorite comment in the last
Look at him. Look at him.
he's got a bigger forehead than Sinestro.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing. So bad.
My favorite comment, right? Recent comment is, "You have a great barber. They take 100% off."
Oh yeah.
You get it, you guys?
Absolutely.
Because there's no hair. Do you get it?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
No, all these years I never had a bald joke. There we go.
There we
It
go.
finally happened.
Nice.
you.
And you know what? That's the kind of value that we provide here at Fandom Social.
It's good,
Yep.
good value.
Yep.
Social.
Fandom
Oh.
Social. Oh, I like that.
What were we saying? What was I saying?
I don't know.
So what was the big fog monster?
Dwayne,
Oh God.
he has a 5 head. That's good.
Oh
His look
man.
reminded me of someone. I was watching the movie last night. I couldn't quite tag it. I feel like he reminds me of someone in popular culture, but maybe not. I don't know.
Is it me? I'm very big
Sorry.
in popular culture. I'm very
No,
famous.
no.
Is it me? No. Okay.
Well, so what'd you guys think of Parallax? Because the reason I thought a Hector was needed because Parallax is such a weak. Basically, he's fighting pollution, a pollution cloud.
He's fighting the smoke monster from Lost. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
it's
You
fine. He's
can't-
just a big CGI beast. I
He-
don't know.
right.
Isn't he-
You can't
he's-
undervalue acting against an actual person, right?
Yeah.
As the villain, right? So
Right.
Like
I think that's
Galactus
why-
from Silver Surfer, basically.
I mean,
oh,
I
right.
agree
They did
with
the same thing
you.
with Galactus, right?
Yeah, they did
Yes.
the same thing with Galactus. Now, Parallax, who gives a shit, right? But ruining
Right.
Galactus, that shit was unforgivable.
Yeah.
I will
I
say
think
that.
you're right, Troy, that they did need to have a villain with some kind of character, something to fight. They just didn't do it well with Hector. It didn't
Thanos
deliver either.
The first CG villain that I felt, and maybe it's because he was executed so well,
That it was a
that it
full
didn't
blown
take
character.
me out of it.
Right.
Right.
I felt like he was actually in the scene.
Absolutely.
Any other movies or lesser movies, it always
Didn't
takes
Josh
me out.
Brolin get plastic surgery to make that happen? Wasn't that real? His chin? No,
With the,
That's
the
not real.
scrotum, the scrotum on his
Scrotum chin.
the scro chin.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
chin, grimace.
My favorite is
Yeah.
pictures from set where it's like him wearing the CG suit with like a stick and like a
Yeah.
Thanos head on the edge of it, so they have a correct eye line.
Yes.
I love that shit.
Uh,
It kills me.
Oh, we've got Steve says, remember
I
when
do
Clark
remember that.
fought the Cloud version of Darkseid in the finale? Reminded me of that. Yeah.
But did he really fight him, or did he just kind of like showed, like, started flying there, and then that was the end of the show, right? Like, he didn't actually fight him. That's like the
Yeah.
first time you see him in the suit, and I was just like, "Are you kidding me?"
See him. That's very
Exactly.
Yeah.
You say, like
Yeah.
the 17,
generous.
17 pixels of Superman off in the distance.
I was so pissed about
Yeah.
that, dude.
Me too, dude.
Yeah.
Back when I cared.
That was a train
That's not
wreck of a
fair.
show because I don't know why I kept watching.
Laura Kilo says, man, Clouds are jerks. There are, you know what? Let's talk about the top 5 Cloud villains in
Ugh.
TV and movie history. Definitely the smoke monster from Lost,
Mm-hmm.
for sure. And then we've got Parallax. Who else is a Cloud monster?
Galactus.
Galactus.
I would probably say do shadow clouds count?
Sure, yeah.
I would say Melisandre's demon
Ooh.
baby from Game of Thrones.
The
That
Cloud
is-
from Nope. That's a good one.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
like there was something in the cloud, but like that was
Didn't
the
Never End
cloud
the
was
Story?
the scare.
Wasn't darkness like a cloud?
Oh, that was
Yes,
next.
good
But
one.
was that?
Ooh.
Oh, that was in Never Ending Story. That was a target.
Steve says Carpenter's The Fog. Yeah,
Oh.
and maybe The Mist
The
from
Mist?
Stephen King's Mist.
Yeah.
The Mist.
Yeah. John Galgano says, now I'm seeing old men shaking their fists at clouds. Damn you, cloud! Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
man.
Steve Nara says
maybe
it
there
was
could be
the
a cloud
emotions.
cinematic universe, right? They just
I think we should have a
We'd launch
show
that.
all about cloud villains.
yeah.
Well, didn't the guy who played Clark, wasn't he in the in Smallville? He was in the remake of The Fog
Tom
years
Welling?
later.
Yeah,
Tom
he
Welling,
was.
he was in the. So look, it all comes back together to the Smallville.
Liza says
Simba's father. That would be Mufasa. That would be Mufasa.
But is he a villain? I mean, I think he's maybe the
No,
first cloud
he's-
hero.
Oh yeah, he's a cloud hero.
Yeah.
Not
He's a
the
cloud
first.
hero. Like
I think the
Zeus
first-
from
or-
Hercules, the movie
or
that I had a
the
line in.
Obi-Wan
Hero
Kenobi.
side.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
The
Is he a
cinematic
cloud?
universe
He's
symbol
a,
leader.
I mean, he's not a person. I mean, he's a, he's an apparition. He looks kind
And-
of soft on the edges.
Jen wants to know if the guy in the suit from Hellboy 2 counts.
Ooh, good call. I
Yeah.
like that. I think he does.
This
He
took
definitely
a
does.
turn I was
What
not
about
expecting.
the chamber eruption in Ghostbusters?
This
In
took
the
a turn. You asked for this, Autumn.
I
You
love it. No.
literally asked. Let's
I was
go
meaning-
over all the cloud.
What I mean
villains
was,
in pop culture.
This took a turn I was not expecting, and I love it. Like, I love it.
I know you
Laura
were
says,
drunk and laying down.
Obi-Wan-
You took the wheel again. Obi-Wan?
Okay, Laura says Obi-Wan is not a cloud. Let's fight, fight, fight.
Hot take, Mike. Go for it.
I don't. I have no dog in this race, or horse in this race, dog in this fight. Those are it, right? I guess you can have dog races, right?
I want
They
to
have
see a
those.
dog horse.
Doug,
race.
I want to see a horse fight.
There we go.
I want
That's
to see
called
a polar bear
jousting.
fight a shark. I want it all.
No, just the horses fighting.
But they just strap.
Wait, no, the
sticks to
dog
horses.
is the
and-
jockey
Oh.
on the horse.
There we
Susan
New
is
Pixar
right.
movie.
In Ghost, remember
Hey,
when
it's
the
my
demons
mom.
come to like pull away? They come to pull away to hell, the ghosts who are
go.
bad.
That's a good one.
Yeah, good
Whoa,
job,
What
Mike's
about the
mom.
poltergeist storm? Remember that scene in Poltergeist? when the
Oh
storm-
yeah.
Supernatural
Absolutely.
clouds.
This is great.
Absolutely. Okay, let's get back to the wonderful.
one last.
Okay.
Jen says ghosts are fancy soul clouds.
Okay.
Okay, now it opens up.
But what
all
about Obi-Wan
ghosts.
Kenobi? Obi-Wan Kenobi isn't a ghost. He is literally a Force ghost. Okay.
Oh,
So-
Laura's got the science. Some ghosts are clouds, but not all clouds are ghosts.
No.
I think that wraps it up.
There.
That I think that's that.
Ooh, Twister.
Oh, the
Twister's
ultimate.
not sentient. It's not a
Yeah.
sentient cloud like the
we
others,
didn't
but it's
specify.
okay. We didn't say.
specify.
But it
And
forms like from the
that's
clouds.
the best
right?
one.
It comes down.
Yeah.
So there you go.
yeah, but it's,
Very
it is a
interesting.
cloud. It is a
I
cloud.
love it.
Twister is a cloud. It's just not sentient. You know what I mean? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I like that one. That might
Can
be
we
my
talk about
favorite.
how
favorite
Twister sidebar how in Twister they had to go through each category, like each category of tornado happened in order. Like here's a category 1, this one's a
Right.
category 2, and they happened in order.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk
Oh
about
my
Twister
gosh.
next.
too, right? You know,
Twisters. The trailer came out for
Twisters?
Twisters. Yeah.
Yes, that's next episode. We're gonna do
Soon to be
Twister
reviewed on
and
Ball Guys
to
Bad
We
Movies.
are definitely doing Twisters.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know
oh, Liza, Sharknado.
Yeah,
Is
that's
that
a good
cloud?
one. That is that. Well, I mean, if it's a tornado.
But it's a NATO, so the NATO
no, I mean,
representing the cloud.
Laura says a cloud does not need to be self-aware to be a jerk.
yeah, just ask Middle America. They could tell
Yeah.
you that.
Steve Nara said the real twist is someone cared enough to make a sequel to
It's not that they
Twister.
cared enough; it's that they were dumb enough to think it needed a sequel. Because when that movie came out, I
Like the
loved it.
story's been told.
Yeah,
Story's
we
been
don't
told.
need it anymore. Like
Be
literally.
careful, Mike.
It's all
The trailer's
tied up
full
in
of
a
hot
bow.
people. Have you seen the trailer?
Oh, are they all
Oh.
good guys?
As long as
like,
they're all
well, no,
hot.
they're hot. They're like, beautiful people fighting
Okay.
the tornadoes.
Okay, so are
Oh,
they?
my Lord.
And yeah, they're the good guys.
They must be.
They must be, right? Because they're good.
That's
Because
the
they're good
rule.
looking. Yeah, exactly. That's
right,
the
right.
rule. Okay, are we gonna get back?
What are
talking
we
to this
talking about?
amazing
Green
movie?
Lantern.
Okay.
Speaking
okay.
of cloud villains, let's get
Parallax.
back.
Parallax is the greatest cloud villain ever. or not.
In
But
the
yeah,
top 5.
We were trying to dig out favorite parts. I don't think.
Oh, right.
okay, favorite parts. Well, I mean, Blake Lively's hot, so like anytime she's on screen,
She
I'm
is
happy.
beautiful. Yeah. She's easy to watch. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Easy
okay,
on the eyes.
I'm gonna really stretch this, but I think when he had to use his imagination to like use, to save people for the first time, and he made a Matchbox track. That was cute, I guess.
I thought
I'm really looking.
I guess
I'm
I don't really
stretching.
like the Green Lantern because I thought it was all every time he used his powers, it was dumb.
It-
I
It was
did,
definitely-
but I actually kind of did like the end where he pod raced with the jet car with the fighter
Yeah.
jets, the pod racing
Yeah.
fighter jets. I was like, this is dumb, but I actually
Yeah.
kind of like it. Like
Yeah,
I don't
they
know.
were trying to make it whimsical and playful and fun to like people would have fun with it. And I think it fell a little flat, but it was cute. It was okay.
I'm sorry. I might introduce another tangent. The
Do
power
it.
Of,
Tangent,
the power of
tangent.
imagination. The power of imagination. Is that what we call this?
Imagination.
So is
Right.
Willy Wonka? Is he Green Lantern power?
Ooh, yeah.
Because the stuff he invents, there's just no way a human being can invent that, right?
Well, no, but he
Yeah.
invents it. He doesn't will it into being with his thoughts. So
yeah, but
Yeah.
how
I
do you
would
make
not
someone
say-
you make someone float with a candy?
Yeah.
You
He
say
figured out how
like,
to do it.
Of course. You
His was more exploitation and no empathy. That was his
Yeah,
power.
That was his superpower.
What about the
Exactly.
tunnel though? The weird tunnel with the weird vision.
That was all of that. I think could have been explained.
smoke and mirrors.
Yeah,
I
smoke
think
and
it's
mirrors.
I think it's all I feel like it's all engineering, whether or not it's whimsical and unrealistic engineering. It's still
Yeah.
it's not like he just thinks it and brings it into being. You know what I mean?
I
Like
feel like there's other movies that have this trope where like imagination and playfulness or whatever as a weapon, like something that is, or as a force. I feel like there's other movies like that. It feels familiar, but it felt like it was okay. It was okay. And I think I saw what they were going for and it was cute, but like I feel like I've seen it before better. But I couldn't tell you where, so maybe it wasn't.
Wait,
that
what are we
great.
talking about again? Are we still
Talking
talking
about the
using
brain-
imagination
yeah.
as a
Okay,
weapon, or
imagination,
like
got it.
using your imagination as a power, you know?
yeah, I mean, I don't know.
You thought it was silly, Mike? How was you?
I thought it was
Like,
silly. Like I really didn't like the the Matchbox car, like
Yeah.
the Hot Wheels track. I was
Yeah.
thinking Harry Potter. Like
Yeah,
you know what I
Steve
thought
Norris
in
as
the
a Patronus, yeah.
Actually, what I was thinking about with Harry Potter was the fight between Dumbledore and what's his face, Voldemort in what
Yeah.
is that, number 5 or something? Like
One of those, yeah.
yeah, that was a pretty good fight where like they were really kind of and tell you the truth, kind of the fight between Doctor Strange and Thanos in
Oh,
Infinity.
Doctor Strange and all of those, all the Doctor Stranges, all of the guys that have, where are they from? The
Sanctum
Doctor Strange
Sanctorum.
movie. Yeah. Like they're all
Shangri-La
using
or-
their, but those are
Right.
like, there's pre-existing spells
Right.
that they can jump
Exactly.
to. Same
So-
thing with Harry Potter. where
Yeah,
this one's
exactly.
free form.
and that's that, but I'm just saying that's the closest I can really get to that, because they actually create them out of
Thank you,
nowhere.
Camertage. Yes.
Camertage.
Yeah, and I think I think they had a lot that they could have worked with that fell
Mm-hmm.
flat. Like the idea that that the only thing that you really need to to protect people, to be successful, to be powerful, is limited by your imagination. What
Right.
can you think of? And that's a powerful message. Like everything's limitless. As long as you can imagine it, you can do it. And you can win. But like it fell short. you
Well,
know?
what I will say, it's kind of funny to think that not only so this superhero succeeds when he can use his imagination really well, right?
Mhm.
And if they had used their imagination a little bit more, better
If they
when
had
writing
the
it,
writers.
the movie
Yes.
could have done better.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like
Uh-huh.
it goes full circle.
John Galgano said the sorcerers, but and I never saw that, but it does remind me of Sword in the Stone. It's the animated film, and the two wizards the wizard is battling a witch, and they're turning themselves into different creatures to battle each other. That's what it reminded me of, and they Like one is a bird, and then it turns into a cat to like
Right.
the bird, and then one turns into a dog to chase the cat, and like it kind of
Sure.
had that feeling, but it wasn't as well done.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think yes, I think.
Yeah,
And
I will-
Steve Nara says to your comment, zing, about if they had better imagination, they would have won the movie.
I just wish we had seen more of him training to become. It felt
Wonder
like
Twins, yeah.
like that
Wonder
was a
Twins did that. Oops.
oh, based on
Laura
Dream
Keeles
Lucifer.
says, yeah, Dream versus Lucifer and Sandman. Beer 30 says Wonder Twins. Yeah, and Steve Nara said Zan and Zayn. So yeah, it has been done before, but I do think I think it fell short with the potential that was there.
Yeah. I'd have to agree.
Yeah.
Also, fun fact I noticed in this movie, Amanda Waller, she
Oh,
grew up in
right.
Cabrini Green, which is where Candyman.
Oh,
lives.
did she say that?
It was in when he read her mind. It was a quick little flashes, and Cabrini Green was prevalent.
That's kind of cool.
That's also where Good Times takes place.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. There's a connection.
Does it really?
Jimmy Walker.
I was gonna say Good
Candyman,
Times, the TV show.
Amanda Waller. Yeah.
No kidding.
So
Okay.
fun fact.
Good Times.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That is interesting.
Surviving.
So I mean, I cannot think. I'm really trying to think of a moment that I enjoyed.
Look,
Well,
there were
here's
some
a-
decent moments. I can give you some decent moments. if you
Here's
Go
an
for it.
interesting point of view that maybe they picked the wrong Green Lantern character to
I
explore
don't know
in
who
this
Kyle
film.
Rayner is.
Green Lantern. That I think that there was.
Oh, that's
Like
a Green Lantern.
Yeah,
Okay.
a Green
Okay,
Lantern.
got
So
it,
like
got
from
it.
the comics,
Not
the
Hal
different
Jordan.
characters.
Yeah, right.
And that that
Him
it's
and
possible
John
they just
Stewart
picked
is the other one. Yeah.
John Stewart. That maybe
John
they just-
Stewart.
Yeah.
That's great.
from Daily Show.
Yeah, exactly.
I said the same dumb joke.
Wouldn't that be awesome if John Stewart for the comedian's Green
It would be.
Oh man.
Oh, my
that
gosh.
would be great.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
Lordy.
I think that's definitely a possibility that they had the elements but put in the wrong Green Lantern, and that maybe the fighter pilot one was not the one to choose. Maybe there was a different that would have had a better story. I think I remember Kyle Rayner was like a comic book artist or something. He would have had a better imagination to draw from. Get it? Anyway, I think if I'm
Then they wouldn't have been able to copy Top Gun if they did that.
That's
so.
true.
So
That's
they're
right.
like,
And I think
I guess we're stuck with Hal Jordan
Yeah.
because this is Top
My-
Gun. And I don't know what else.
Who
I don't know
was the
what else
sexiest
to
in
write.
underwear? You got to check that box. So
yeah, my
Oh.
Green Lantern knowledge is very slim in terms of the comics, but yeah, I believe that that might have been a better character. If that's the one I'm thinking of, that might have been a better character to pull from because, again, that power of imagination would have been because in this one, like he sees his nephew's little racetrack, and that's why he
Right.
does that. Like he's
Right.
pulling off of things he said. It's not really in his imagination. He's just remembering things.
Right.
He's getting inspired by things he's already seen, which is not really imagination. It's just pulling off your memory. So, oh, thank you. So Steve Nara says, you're correct, Autumn. Kyle Rayner was a graphic artist. So yeah, having an artist turn into a superhero, I think is a much more interesting story than a fighter pilot as a superhero. Like, come on.
and then well, just with the direction they chose, because he had mental trauma, your mind is your weapon. It felt like more than just fear, like
Right.
the mental blockage of what happened to him, trauma itself. You have
Yeah.
to overcome that to be able to clearly like imagine a trampoline
Yeah.
or
Right. And I think
or a
that,
giant rock
you
and
know,
sock-and robot, which is
I do
equivalent
think
of
an
what we did
artist
in the
would
movie.
be more equipped to be a better Green Lantern, partly because they do have to overcome a lot of self-doubt and fear and anxiety to be an artist for a living, to put yourself out there
Right.
like that.
The
You have to be able
mask
to.
is probably the greatest imagination.
Oh, there you go. The Mask. There you go.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And
That
actually,
movie
that leads
blew
into
my
what you're
mind.
saying, though. With Stanley Ipkiss, he was, a fan of like cartoons or whatever, and
Mhm.
therefore his mask was over the top, a Tex Avery
Yeah.
cartoon. So
Yeah. So,
So go on.
No,
You were
we're
telling
not.
us the best parts of this movie, Troy.
yeah. That's right.
I like his what's the lantern Oath, the brightest day.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
When
yeah,
he
yeah.
recited at near the end, when he was
Oh yeah,
struggling against
yeah.
Yeah.
That
the
was
pollution
good.
cloud.
That was good.
I mean, Ryan Reynolds, he gives a good performance. It's not like he's bad in it. It's just
Yeah.
he's not in a very good
Well, I
mood.
feel like
A good
I
script.
felt like they didn't like the script didn't do him justice. I felt like he felt like the correct choice if it
Right.
was in a
He was
better
underused.
movie. Yeah, he was underused, exactly. If it was just a
Yeah.
better movie, I don't think it had
Blake
anything
Lively
to
is
do
a
with.
great actress too. She was totally underused. It was just
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
I'm the
Underused.
pretty. I'm pretty and I'm smart.
Exactly.
Okay, you know.
Yeah, I
I
don't know.
think I have a nitpicky thing too that has
Let's hear
really
it.
bothered me. When the Parallax is pulling, when the Green Lanterns are coming to fight him, and he's pulling their fear out of them and surviving off of and like thriving off of that, and
Mhm.
uses it to escape. The concept of pulling out their essence is represented by a golden skeleton.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought
I'm
you
like,
were
so
gonna say
your
that.
skeleton is your true essence? Like, why wouldn't it have been like a soul or like an, you know what I mean, like a wispy thing or
Sure.
like an outline of them, but like there's skeletons coming out? Like,
I love it
that's
the best.
just
I
their
love it when it's your
bones.
soul, but your fully clothed soul.
Right.
The
Right.
soul of your plaid sweater.
Exactly.
Like,
Comes along
just
with
see
it.
some glowing naked people get yanked out. I think
Yeah.
that would have been appropriate, but skeletons were weird. I'm like, what are we saying here in this movie? That
Yeah,
your skeleton
I
is
did
your
notice
true
that.
essence? That's weird. Yeah.
I mean, that didn't bother me. I mean, it didn't bother me too much. Like, I didn't even notice it. I guess because I was so not invested, like, and that was such a minor thing.
Right.
I just didn't
And also, I
care
didn't care
enough.
if those guys died. I'm like, kill them
Yeah.
all. I don't care. They didn't
Exactly.
earn me
I got another
caring.
positive thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Am I pronouncing the planet right? Oa? Is Oa?
Oa.
Is that the
Yeah, I think so.
the
Oa.
headquarters?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I thought the creature variety and design was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not talking about the actual effects.
Right.
Because of course the effects are dated.
Yeah.
But they really went with the bizarre, and it wasn't just a dude in a suit like some of the
Right.
creatures
They
were
weren't
very, like,
humanoid. They weren't just
Right.
humanoids. They were all over. I mean, there was like a giant flying bug. You know what I mean? That was a
Yeah.
Green Lantern. That was
We've
kinda
got
I
some
funny.
didn't want to
interesting-
leave that world, and then they just went back to Earth.
Yeah.
It was just so
Yeah.
weird when they did that.
Kind of a shame.
Couple comments from the chats. So Steve says Martin Campbell's preferred lead was Bradley Cooper, struggling to picture him in that role. Yeah, that would have been interesting. And John Galgano says, I never feel like Ryan Reynolds becomes the character. Ryan Reynolds is the character in everything he does. I kind of have to agree. I'm trying to think of a film he's done where
He was born for Deadpool.
Yeah, he's Deadpool. Been like everything I remember seeing him in. I really liked him in the movie where he's the NPC character, the video game
Oh
character.
yeah.
The
Free
Free Guy. He was great in that, but again, he was Ryan
He was
Reynolds.
just
I mean,
Ryan
he was
Reynolds.
Ryan
He was
Reynolds.
a dialed down.
Down version of Ryan
was
Reynolds, and then he
yeah.
turned into Ryan Reynolds. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Now let's drill down a bit, because that's fascinating. Do you think that's because is that due to his acting ability, or the fact that his persona has so kind of eclipsed his actual roles that now
that people write
it's hard to
a Ryan
tear
Reynolds
him
character.
away?
Well,
Like, he
yeah.
can't get immersed. Or
well, look at
how do you
like
feel?
Hugh Jackman. Take Hugh Jackman. Like when he was young and he was big, they always wrote his character exactly the same way. Flash forward to now, he takes on the persona of whatever role that he has to do, and he changes in each one. I mean, take I don't know if you ever saw The Undoing. Take that character in The Undoing versus who he was in like Dungeons and Dragons. Like, they couldn't be more different, and they're both great.
Yeah.
Wait,
And
you
it
said
might
Hugh Jackman? Hugh
No, I'm
Jackman?
sorry, not Hugh Jackman. What's his name?
What's his name?
Oh, from Star Trek.
No, from Star Trek.
Not Chris
The
Pine.
Captain Kirk guy, the actor.
No, the old dude in
Jeremy Irons? Well,
The
are you
old
talking
dude
about?
in
Are you
D&D.
talking about?
Are
new
you talking about
Dungeons and
Morgan
Dragons?
Freeman? Are you talking about
just say everyone.
Same
I'm
stuff.
just gonna look it up for
Sean
crying out.
Connery?
Let's play a game. Who is Mike
Yeah,
talking
who
about?
is he
everyone?
talking
Hugh
about?
Grant.
Hugh Grant.
Thank you. Thank
Hugh
you,
Grant.
Steve.
Steve
God damn
Nara
it,
says Hugh Grant. Yeah. I do think when
that was a big.
Yeah.
They did a lot of that.
You're right. He was that bumbling,
He was
charming
always
British
that
guy for the same
and
time.
now he's completely different, and he
Yeah.
can handle those roles just fine. But
Yeah.
but you know who Ryan Reynolds is? He's
Right.
Van Wilder.
But do you think? Okay, now I mean,
that's the
that
character they write
because
for now. They write him
his
as Van Wilder.
Van Wilder,
yeah,
now,
because that's
is that who he is in real life?
I don't think so.
But
Like,
what about
is he act
Spirited,
that
Mike?
way?
Did you
What?
feel the movie Spirited that we reviewed? Him in the Christmas movie.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, he was Ryan Reynolds
you
there.
felt,
Yeah.
you felt
I
he
felt
was
like he was
still-
Ryan Reynolds in that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it was the thing is that character is very likable, very charming. So the question
Right.
is, if that's just who he is in real life, and he did that in Van Wilder and a couple other places, did people just continue to write stories around that character and for him, or does he not get any other option? Like, is that all he can do? Does he only take movies? Like, does he only get those offers? Does he get offers for movies that are against type and doesn't do them? Or
I
does
know,
he not
like,
get them?
For Deadpool, he did a lot of rewrites, but I wonder if he does that a lot for his films. Like, he's at a level now where he'll inject his own witticisms.
He's fine-tuned that character of Ryan Reynolds, and it's dialed in now. I mean, he's got a great, fully developed persona that he can put that persona in a bunch of different places. He puts that persona in a bunch of different movies that are slightly different from each other, like Spirited and Deadpool and Free Guy. Those are all just different versions of that same persona, and it's successful and people love it. So, and he makes a really good living and he gets to do all these great things. So, like, why mess with it? But the truth is, it is the same character again.
I feel that way about Sam Jackson to a degree. Like, he's
always cool, Sam Jackson. Jackson, yeah.
I mean, and Ryan Reynolds is probably a better example of the extreme he can go. I mean, Sam and like Django and Chain and stuff, like he was a little bit more immersed in that, but still, it's still like, you know, the like, Samisms, that
like when you saw, was it Matthew McConaughey who was in that Dallas Buyers Club? Is that his name? Okay, like he was a totally different character, and up until then he'd been the same character kind of a lot, and then he started doing True Detective and all these other characters, and I'm wondering, like, is there a role like that for Ryan Reynolds? Will he'll go completely different and open it all up, or does he not care because he doesn't need to, because he's doing well and people love it?
He has so much money, like
I know, like why would he? Unless it matters.
Unless he loses it all in the football team, we'll see.
I watched that whole series. It was so fun.
Me too.
He did a great job avoiding that. I think Johnny Depp early in his career, coming from 21 Jump Street, he was seen as the hot hunk, and I think every film role he chose was out there and like you know, Edward Scissorhands, he's gonna put something on his face, or he'll do something super. Independent, like Dead Man, and like he avoided that. I mean, you see Johnny Depp in a film. Yes, it is Johnny Depp, but he's also immersed in the character. So I think it's easier to separate the two.
Dwayne Mattinson says the real Ryan Reynolds is actually an 87-year-old woman. So it's he's pulled a talented Mr. Mr. Reynolds and fooled us all, Steve.
Nice.
So yeah. Okay, wait, we got a different Ryan.
He could be in it. Yeah.
Beer 30 said Smoking Aces was a different Ryan. I haven't seen that.
I have, but I don't remember
a long
it.
Time ago.
You think it was different? I mean, you think it was the same?
I have no idea. I mean, I would say he's probably right because he actually remembers the movie.
Yeah. John Galgano says, I give him credit for making a career playing himself, but it doesn't inspire me to see anything he does anymore. You know what? It does the opposite for me. I know what I'm going to get. I know it's going to be fun. I mean, I totally see what you're saying, John, and I agree that if someone's kind of over that character, there's no reason to see his movies, but I still love it. I'll still watch anything he's in.
But movies are like it's like a dish of food, right? Sometimes you want comfortable pizza.
Yeah, exactly.
But then
he is comfort food.
Something more challenging, you may go see, the DiCaprio movie, right?
Right.
You know,
Can't go an entire. And I think that might be our first Troy
wait.
metaphor of the entire episode. Like we couldn't go a whole episode without metaphor man hitting it up.
Wait, we've got Steve Nara saying he's the Applebee's of acting. You know what you're gonna get.
now that's
Yeah,
a metaphor.
diarrhea,
I love
diarrhea. That's what you're gonna get.
Yeah, and Rubbish Bill says he's like Fast and Furious. You know what you're getting. Laura says Harrison Ford was like that to an extent when he was younger. He went for money-making roles, not so much artistically challenging roles. You know, his roles give him a lifestyle to be able to do what he wants.
The role where he made that divide was Witness. Did you guys ever see Witness?
Yes.
Oh yeah, that was
Yeah.
That was huge because he was really known for Indiana Jones and for Han Solo. And then I think he was nominated for Academy Award for that, right? And
Uncredited Viggo Mortensen was in Witness.
Really?
Yep, he was
Was
one
he
of the back.
one of the
He was one of the Amish.
wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, I liked him in Regarding Henry. It was one of the
Oh,
first
yeah.
times where he
That
was
was nice.
vulnerable, like really vulnerable and not a big hero.
That's a good
You know
one.
what I mean? He was a jerk, and then he got humbled, and then he had to build himself up, and he was at no point a big hero. And that was, to me, I really liked seeing that story.
You know the film no one ever talks about really is Mosquito Coast. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's a Peter
I
Weir
can't
film.
remember that.
I don't think I've
I
seen
remember
it.
that
Fantastic.
one.
He takes his family off grid. River Phoenix plays his son in that movie, which led to him being cast in Crusade because
I
he
remember that.
recommended River Phoenix to Spielberg
Okay.
because of that
Steve
experience.
Nara says he thinks Blade Runner, because it came before Witness, was his first. Can I just point out how forgettable Green Lantern is that we keep not talking about it? Because, like,
We need
it's a
something to talk about.
It's a whatever of a movie. you
Yeah,
know?
like it's one thing about Green Lantern I would like to bring up is when I think it's when he first gets to Oa and I think it's when they're like putting the suit on him, and you have Ryan Reynolds with like the lighting showing off his abs and his little like
Beautiful.
boxer briefs. And I'm just like, he's fucking beautiful ass dude.
Yeah,
dude.
they're
Like,
it's like him and Blake Lively. Like, how many
Yeah.
opportunities do we have to show how beautiful these people are?
exactly, exactly.
I made a note. There was a funny line when it was with
Laura
clouds.
says clouds are better to talk about than Green Lantern. Anyway,
When he Taika first showed up with the crash ship, he was like, this alien guy, he gave me a ring. He's like, he proposed to you?
Yeah,
That was good.
exactly.
I thought that was pretty funny.
That was pretty funny.
And
I
that
also-
ends my list of
there we go.
positivity. There you go.
That was it.
Yep.
That was a couple
There
of
you go.
funny moments.
I'm sure maybe it was 2011. Maybe they made some like Green Lantern popcorn tins. That was worth it. Maybe.
Yeah.
Probably.
Well, you know what I wanted to ask?
Could have got a popcorn
Those are
tin.
worth almost $1.99 on eBay now. Almost.
I think butter costs more.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Okay. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, do you think this came out? I'm pretty sure at the height of like the 3D craze, right? Because
it
that
was.
like during the I especially noticed during the Hot Wheels scene, like stuff was just like flying at camera.
Ooh.
Yeah, all the way. I was like, come on. Yeah. Dude,
it's like
back
it's
then,
right there.
dude, back then it was so every single
Yeah.
movie, you could not find a movie that
Yeah.
wasn't in 3D. It was so annoying.
The funniest thing for me now is watching movies from that era when they were leaning into the 3D nature of it, and you have something coming into camera, but you're not wearing 3D glasses, or you don't
Right.
have 3D. So
Yeah.
it looks so
Here, have
lame.
some soup, Autumn.
What do you guys think?
Yeah. You know what is funny?
So
one
dumb.
of the movies that used the 3D effect to the best like I've ever seen it was G-Force. Do you remember G-Force with the gerbils or the guinea pigs? And they were like
No.
they were like
God.
special agent guinea pigs. It's adorable. It's actually way better. It's way better than Green Lantern.
Yeah.
It is actually a highly recommend if you want to watch a
That's
fun
not a
movie
big
with your
bar,
kids.
though. Way
Yeah.
better than Green Lantern.
Yeah. Yes, you're right. You're right. It's not a big bar,
I
but
mean,
it is.
the film
it's
I
a
took of
highly
my kid's
recommend.
6th grade play is way better than Green
It's a well.
It's just a smear of poop, not a pile.
So,
Okay?
but let me tell you why the 3D
Okay?
But let me tell you why the 3D was so good. So they did a lot of the stupid things in 3D, right? But one thing they did was when they rendered out the film, they rendered out black bars, right? Normally you just render out whatever.
So they would.
So they would have like there's a lot of sparks and they have like these super gerbil ball, like a guinea pig ball. The sparks would like go out of the frame. And I remember watching it going like, what the hell?
Because they get you used to the bars, thinking that's the edge of your screen, and then they break the edge.
So
that's
I had to
take
my glasses off, and I was like, "Oh my god, they are sending it into the black! Like that is absolutely brilliant."
Mike, what was your weed level when you watched this? What era did this come out?
100.
Because there's early Mike era.
Definitely, weed level 1,000. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
We got Laura.
Contributed to the enjoyment.
No,
3D
truly,
movies.
Truly, it actually did it. Like it was crazy. I took off the glasses to watch it
because now I'm fascinated.
Let's do it.
Review that
in 3D.
But I don't think they. Yeah, that's the whole thing. Do you have a 3D TV? Can we find it in 3D? Like I don't think they rendered that.
Only
TV.
if you could see it in 3D.
Only if you
wasn't
saw
the movie itself. It was
exactly. If you saw it in 3D, I don't even because I don't have a 3D TV. I probably wouldn't have the movie on.
You
Blu-ray
don't? Are you a Porzy?
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Sorry.
And so.
Okay, we've got.
And so anyway,
and
okay,
3D TVs are like crying right now.
Oh my god!
I was just gonna say from the audience, we've got Laura Keela says Piranha 3D, and we got Beer 30 said the Birds 3D. For me, the first one that ever got me was Jaws 3D way back in the day. Didn't care for it. It was too scary.
Did you see that in the theater? Do you remember seeing it in the theater?
Yeah, I think it was like no, there was a TV event. There was like you could go to Blockbuster or you go to where the grocery store or whatever and get the 3D glasses, and then they played it at like prime time.
But that was the color 3D, right? When they would
it was like colors. When you did the glasses with the red and blue.
Yeah.
So part 3. I think that was my first 3D. It was at home though, obviously. I was too young. But
and anyway, Green Lantern,
fun.
Right,
the
guys?
Spears coming at your face.
Whoa!
The eyeballs popping out.
Oh, Steve Nar says yes, he got his glasses from 7-Eleven. Thank you. Yes, you can go pick them up somewhere. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, they did that a few times. I'm pretty sure there were multiple
special events
like that with different movies. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay. Laura Keela said, actually, there was a dinosaur movie I saw at a museum. Nothing was coming at you, but they used the 3D to create depth, which was lovely in forest scenes.
That's actually the best way to use it. In fact, one of the other movie that I thought was really good with 3D was the first Avatar. And they did the same thing. They didn't really send stuff at you. They just made depth. And it was crazy. I remember when they're first getting to Pandora and everyone's getting out of their pods and they're floating around in the spaceship about to go down to the planet. It looked like it went on for miles, like inside that ship. And I was like, holy shit, this is like, because everyone was talking about like how good the 3D was for this movie. And so when I finally saw it, I was pretty blown away by
that movie was basically a great demo for 3D TVs is what they did. A really expensive demo.
I saw Beowulf, the CG Beowulf in 3D, and that was pretty amazing. The whole sequence with I don't know if you remember the bird or is it the bird flies and it's the shot where it's tracking to the cave, right? And it follows this different things like
another forgettable movie, so it's kind of hard for me to remember that exactly.
Beowulf.
And we are talking forgettable movies tonight on Bald Guys and Bad Movies.
I'll defend Beowulf. Beowulf, beyond the uncanny valley. If you get past that, it's actually a good movie.
Okay. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion.
No shit.
Wait.
Said the guy in a review show.
So let's rate this sucker. What do you guys say? Should we rate it? Should we rate it?
Anything else we can say about this?
I can't think. I think let's see. I'll go through my notes real quick. Why does he have gray eyes and not green eyes when he gets the suit on? That was one thing that I wanted. I'm like, why is his eyes gray and not green? Like they should be green. Sinestro, like the bad guy's eyes. Hector's eyes were yellow when he turned bad. And
I was gonna say, were all the Green Lantern's eyes that color? Because I don't feel like they were. Yeah.
I did note that he has the most douchey bachelor pad ever. Like that his apartment was just as douchey as they come.
Wait,
One
what made
line-
it douchey? What
Okay, go
what's
ahead.
Just a general.
It just had a
cohesive
general
douchiness?
feel
General
of
douchiness?
Yeah, exactly. General douchiness.
Okay.
Exactly. One thing, this is kind of messed up. I was like, why, like, when Hector's head gets, like, all grotesque, why does he start to kind of resemble Hopper from Stranger Things? Like, he kind of did,
But
right?
Hopper doesn't look gross or disfigured.
Exactly. So what?
But
what
somehow
was
I
thinking?
thought the same thing.
It was really weird. It was really weird to me.
Oh, I thought of one thing I did like about another good highlight.
Okay, let's hear
When
it.
he's wearing the mask and he's talking in the voice and she's acting for a second like she's going along with it, then
Right.
she's like, I know it's you.
You.
We've known each other our entire lives. You think I can't see your cheekbones and now I don't know it's you? I love that because
That
it's
was
so
good.
common in the movies where I'm like,
Yep.
come on.
Because
Really? You're putting
at that part.
Yes, thank
There you
you.
go.
Can't tell it's him. Those
I remember
Thank
that.
you,
stupid eyes,
Daniel.
dude.
That was perfect timing right
It was
there, buddy.
refreshing that she didn't like fall for it.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
thought that was a
it
fun.
was.
That doesn't
It
happen a
was.
lot in these movies when you know that the person should recognize them and they don't. Like
Do you
Batman
have- do
movies.
you have-
Come on.
Do you have an image of Peter Sarsgaard as the shorn scrotum villain? What
Pretty
was
sure
that?
he does. Yeah. No. Well, do you have him as a
He got-
villain? Like
he
when he
got
has a
super
the
Oh,
head?
when he's all
Head
mutated and stuff.
Yeah, the
Let's
mutated
see.
Holy
head
crap.
version. Because that
What did we
was
do?
yeah.
Maybe not.
Nutsack.
Oh darn.
Oh,
Okay.
Jin gave the review is 3 out of 10. It is a movie.
Okay. So that's a 1.5.
Yeah.
It's a
It's like when I
1.5.
would go back when I was in college and I would go see people's. I was a theater major, so we'd go see people's plays, and then they,
Oh.
when it wasn't good, and then they come out. What'd you think? You'd be like, you were in a play. The sets were so good. Your costume was great. You
Lordy.
enunciated so well. I could hear everything you said.
That is pretty funny.
That's what this is. This was a movie.
Yep.
I mean,
yep.
everybody got together and they made it happen, and they finished it, and they did it. It's not easy to make a movie.
But
is
we're not like the pirate movie. We were like, you know what? They went for it. It became a beautiful masterpiece.
Right.
Yes.
We're not saying that about this though, right? We're
No, it's not a beautiful masterpiece. It's a forgettable masterpiece.
Yeah. Some people got paid
Get it?
to
Meh.
light the
Masterpiece?
set.
Do you get
and
it?
that's all.
We got
That's
it. We got it, Autumn. We got it.
I don't know if you got it. I'm gonna type it out so you can see it. Oh yeah, Laura says when Spidey talks to Aunt May in the first Spidey movie, I was like, she 100% knows who he is. She knows her nephew's voice.
Yeah,
She's-
right.
Like she's raised him, right? Or has been raising him. Like she knows what he sounds like. Come on,
I would have to agree with that.
please. Oh, Steve Nara, Green Lantern. That was a good one.
Man.
Wait, do you think anyone figured out that
Bald
Christian
guys
Bale
and bad dad
was the-
jokes.
So did Christian Bale's Batman fool anyone? With
Oh
his
my
voice
God.
like this.
Just take my voice like this.
Yeah. We all joke about it, but the citizens of Gotham really know that is actually Bruce Wayne.
I will never let anyone know my real identity.
Is that the only way? But you know, the Ben Affleck Batman had a modulator,
What?
right? So
Why
he
didn't
kinda-
he do this instead? Like then nobody will know who he is.
Now that's unexpected.
Right, guys? You will rue the day.
Yep. Sorry, Paul.
Yeah, Paul's here in the chat saying, I just landed and this is how I find out I've been replaced. Yep, you're out, buddy. Oh my
man.
gosh.
So does
All
anyone else
right.
have any notes that we missed that you want to go over? Troy, you got any? Autumn?
Mm, I don't know if it's a fun fact, but this pretty much because Lantern was supposed to be the start of their DC cinematic universe. And they
Oh,
were like,
was it?
Yeah, like, okay, let's not do that again. And then they pivoted to Man of Steel. So that was the official launch of.
Paul says, you guys are talking about the one character I'm obsessed with. Sorry,
Himself?
bud. Obsessed.
Himself.
Himself. Lord Keyless. Yeah.
Wait, can we Photoshop Paul's hair on Hector?
Yeah, there we
Yes.
go. Yes.
Let's do it.
I want to.
But on the mutated Hector though.
Jim says, I'm sorry, Paul, but corporate has decided your hair care budget is out of control, so we're replacing it with these two bald guys.
And that was something completely different.
Oh man.
No hair at
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
all. All right, well, let's
All right,
rate
well,
it. Want to rate it? What's the ratings? Who wants to
Ooh.
go first?
I think Autumn should go first.
Yes, Autumn.
I'm gonna-
She
I'm
gets
going to
first
give
pick
it-
at the at the choice.
I'm going to give it 2 out of 10.
Five.
blue
No,
eye
it's out of
contact-
5.
Eye contacts.
It's out of,
No,
it's out of 5.
Fine, 1 out of 5 weird blue eye contacts.
Gray. Aren't they gray? They were gray.
Grayish blue. Yeah.
Were they blue? They
Like
were gray.
unnecessary eye contacts.
There you go.
I thought it was just my
1
TV, but
out of 5.
No, it was like they were like gray. It was freaking weird, dude.
It's like
they
he
were
was electrocuted.
Well, why wouldn't they turn green? Like that's what I'm saying. Like he's Green Lantern. Like you're gonna change his freaking eyes, change him to green.
it's a choice, right?
Yeah.
Like that's just right there on the table, and they chose to pivot from the obvious.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, what about
Yeah,
you, Troy?
What are you gonna?
Yeah.
You want me to go?
Yeah, you go.
Um,
I'm still
you give
coming
it?
up with what I'm gonna call it. She
You,
gave it a 1. She gave it a 1.
1?
I give it a 1. Yeah.
I'll give it a 2 because mainly because of Mark Strong's Sinestro. I really do. And Oa. I thought the Oa designs were okay. But I'll give it a 2 shorn scrotum heads out of 5.
But like badly shorn, like with an old razor.
Right.
Oh
Daily
man.
shorn,
Lots
badly
of cuts.
shorn scrotum
Oh
head.
lordy. I am going
You think Peter Skarsgård looked in the mirror one day in full makeup and was like, what the fuck am I doing?
I was like, how did I
get
get here? Exactly.
What choices did I make?
He fired his agent.
Under
He fired his
Stellar
agent.
Adler, and
He
here
was
I
like,
am looking
Yes.
at
yeah.
a ball.
He's like, I might be stuck doing this movie, but I am firing my agent right now.
You guys, Steve
That's
said
so
Paul
villain.
missed the cloud talk. Get it? Paul missed the cloud
Oh,
talk. Do you
yeah.
get it?
Mm.
Also, we got Beer 30
Nice.
giving a rating. 2 abs out of 6.
Nice.
Everybody at home, please come up with what your rating scale is and then what your rating is.
Yes,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Mhm.
Okay, so now I gotta choose one. This is hard in
This is the
movies.
part
That
I
don't,
usually cut out the podcast when Mike's thinking of one.
yeah, that is absolutely true.
Can I get up and go take a break?
Yeah,
you can,
absolutely, absolutely. Okay, I'll be quick. I'll be quick.
Boiling.
Okay.
How about I'm gonna give it 2 out of 5. Side lit, fuzzy, like soft focus Ryan Reynolds ab shots. That's what I.
Okay. I'm gonna do another one. I'm gonna change mine
Whoa,
to 2
okay. Just double
because
dip.
you're
Go
right.
for it.
But 2 self tanning spray bottles out of
There
5.
you go. Yeah,
I
one
thought
for
you
Blake
was gonna go with the
and
10,
one for
'cause he
Ryan.
brought it up.
Right.
I'm glad we worked it in.
Oh man, yeah. Why were
Oh.
he wasn't as bad as she was. Like she was so tan because I've seen her in a lot. I've seen her in a lot of things. You know what I mean? And she is never the tan one. She is always the very white one.
The
And so
director's like, more tan.
you're like, yeah, like, have you seen Donald Trump lately?
Take that, but like turn it up.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man.
Just yeah.
Yeah, then that's I think that's about it. I think we did it, guys.
Yeah,
I think we did it.
That's our first guest episode.
and a wonderful guest. It was.
Yeah,
A
it really
guest
was.
plural. All you guys.
Thanks for facilitating this.
Of course. Do
Facilitator.
you want to wrap up your show so I can
That's
take
basically
the
how we
driving
wrap it
wheel?
up.
That's how we wrap it up.
Yeah, we have like a stinger that we put on the end half the time. But
gotcha.
we come
Paul
up with that
says,
at the end.
Live content isn't so easy, huh?
Shut up, Paul.
Yeah, get out of here, Paul.
What do you know? Yeah, you only showed up for the last 5 minutes anyways, so it's not going to be live for you.
We were amazing for the rest of it.
Could Paul just pop on and be combing his hair? Like,
Yeah.
What
He's
was
doing his weekly hair routine. That's why he's not here.
Yeah, exactly.